And live. We should be
Boom.
live now. Hello.
Hello.
Double
Good
checking on
morning.
YouTube.
Good morning. Good evening. Good afternoon to everyone around this
Good
beautiful
day.
blue earth. Uh,
So, it's me, Sololar, and my friend Nicholas
it
from the
is I.
glorious country.
Yeah. The former Brazilian Empire,
The Inca
currently
Empire.
Republic. The what?
I- uh, are you from Inca or Mesopotamia? Or are they the same thing? Am I getting this? Am I
No,
getting
no,
my
yeah,
raw,
they're
my
different.
lore
No,
wrong?
yeah, they're different. But we didn't have like as it's known of any like major big civilizations like the Incas here. Like there were tribes,
Yes.
but not like a
Yeah,
major.
yeah.
Besides some conspiracies about the one existing, but we're not gonna talk about that.
Did you also have aliens that taught you how to make spaceships like the Egyptian? Or no?
No, because we did not have the big ones, like I told you, like the
You made
Aztecs
your
and
you made your own pyramids, right? You don't need some alien to teach you.
yeah. No, we don't have pyramids in. Like I said, though, like there might be some ruins that we just don't know, but like nothing big,
Oh wait,
not
I'm thinking
nothing.
of those pyramids, but they're like more like steps,
Yeah, the
as they
step.
go up.
Yeah, but they're Aztec, so they're like more over
Aztec.
Peru, like more of Peru.
Oh, okay, okay. This is why I asked uh, the professional over here because I don't know.
Yeah,
Over here in Europe,
would be cool if we had, but we don't. So
yeah, we only have awesome castles still standing around that you can visit for free.
there you go. See, that's the cool part about Europe, right?
Yes, yes,
It's
definitely.
old. It's civilization old. I mean,
So let's hop in.
yeah.
Vaesen role
Talking
playing
about
game.
Europe. That's a segue for you. Talking about Europe,
Yeah, there's a role playing game out there set in the 1900s
Scandinavia.
Scandinavian countries around the Balkan Sea region. So we have the Scandinavians, Norway, Sweden, all of that good stuff that is featuring classic Nordic folklore, the Vaesen, the fairies.
Uh, and I have to say, if I talked about you didn't know there was this one TV show. It was like not super big production or anything, but it was quite fun. It was Grim. Grim is it's like in set in Portland, but it's the same idea of they are Vaesen, and some people are called Grim. They can see the Vaesen even when they're hiding, like as a person. And
Oh,
it's a cop TV show, and it's the same vibe that is going for, except for Vaesen is in pre or not pre-industrialization, right? It's like during industrialization, like he's just kicking off, right?
yes, the Industrial Revolution has begun. Factories are being built. I guess like train tracks are being laid as the Nordic regions connect with the rest of Europe. But we are so far up in the north, there are vast forests out there, the mountains, of course.
The chaos wastes, right? And the whole shtick of the game is that you play as a group of like people who have the sight. You can see the Vaesen, so you're pretty much like it's like a Scooby Doo game. And I don't say that to be mean, but it's like a Scooby Doo thing, right? Where you solve mysteries, you find the weakness of like the troll, you banish the troll, and try not to die.
Yeah, it's in the sentiments that Scooby Doo is about the villain of the week and solving the mystery, where Vason leans hard into the grim fairy tales of the lessons you teach your children through the story time to get them to behave, to get them to sleep, to know the dangers of the world. Oh, what does happen if you follow the candy and the breadcrumbs and
Mm.
get yourself into the house of a lady that feeds
Which,
you? She will eat you and put you in the oven.
I should not be using that thing. There you go.
Okay, you're
Yeah.
switching. I see. Yeah,
Yeah.
no worries.
This is a free league game, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
It is a D6 pool system. The mechanics are not very complicated, actually. I feel like we had like one day to like, not even one day, because did you read the PDF after we talked about yesterday? We
No,
talked for like 1
I
hour.
had, yeah, during the session, and then I had my raid and went to bed, did breakfast for wife, and watched a couple videos, and then we did the call.
Okay. Yeah, so it's not very complicated. Like, it's very simple. I kind of like that. The only like, and now talking about the system, and I guess entering into the topic, like, can you 4D it? There's some things that are not so friendly to the way we like to play. There's more like, I don't know if freestyle is the right word, but freestyling and like co-creating and adapting to the situation. You know, like less prep. It feels like the game wants especially the DM to do some prepping, like either picking up a monster like a Vaesen and like reading how it works, or creating one. And I guess you want to talk about that, like what do you feel so far that the game expects you as a DM to do? Because we did a little practice. The idea was we are actually gonna play a full session, but we tried
Yes.
to play like a little combat simulation just to see how things work, ironing out some questions. And then what made us stop playing and decide to do this was because of the monster, right?
Yeah. Let's see. I'm throwing up some artwork of the game so people
It's
can
beautiful, by the way.
look up. Yeah, it's awesome. It sets the mood so well. Yeah, but
Was this
I
the
love
guy?
the revolver.
Was this the guy you threw at me? By the way.
No. That's not the
Okay.
guy. So
Okay.
yeah, that's the part about 4D. I very much when we did the call, I was still shaky in the rules. Like I'm trying to figure out combat because one of the noteworthy things is NPCs work by different rules, or maybe maybe a bandit or a man has similar rules, but the Vaesen have completely different statistics. So I did not get the time to read like how would they react, and they come with you get 20 plus Vaesens in the book, and it gives you suggestions on how to build them too. So you're gonna need a secret, you're gonna need a ritual, you're gonna need a list of things he can do as like abilities. And you're gonna need to give your players a chance to find out before they get confronted by a Vaesen.
I didn't read that, but does the book suggests like, oh, there should be an investigation phase, then there should be the hunting phase, or I don't think it talks about that, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Like, I guess it's something like you play and then you die, then you realize, oh yeah, maybe we should investigate before fighting. Like, which I get what it's trying to do, and I think it fits into the theme of like, it's very like, you know, Van Helsing, like you do the preparation before you
Yes.
fight the vampire, you know, like you don't show up to
Yeah.
its lair just
The
with like
monster of the
a wooden
week
stake.
of something disturbed the village, like there's bloodshed or the children are missing. Like it's very much like with a Vaesen, it's very easy to have your spark for the session, for the episode of something caught your attention and you follow down the trails. I guess like with the game has a headquarters mechanic.
Yeah,
So
you
you
can
have like a
upgrade
place where you
it.
start off and then you go away from there through your connections.
I feel like a lot of games do that nowadays, but like, so going back about the mechanics, the NPCs still are rolling the d6s as a pool system, but like you said, they have different attributes, which
Yes.
I don't know, maybe because we just picked up the game, but it feels a little bit hard to just improvise. Like, because we created the character together, so you kind of understood how player PCs work. But then if you're
Yes.
going to improvise with NPC, you have like to think a little bit different.
Yeah, exactly.
But but is it a situation? Do you reckon that if you get used to the NPCs, you could improvise just as well? If you know, like, get the hang of things?
Yeah, I think so. I looked at the book, and I'm trying to see if I can find an example real quick. I'm struggling.
I can help you
But
search for it, but
yeah,
I can talk while
there
you look
was
for it.
there were some NPCs listed
Mm.
and traits for them. Oh, I found
Okay.
it. They have like a list for non-player characters, like
The
a
police
soldier,
officer. Mm.
yeah, police officer. So they have the same stats as player characters: physique, precision, logic, empathy. But they use a toughness mechanic if they get hurt. So you have your physical toughness, how many attacks
So
by the
it's
blade
their
or the revolver can I take?
HP in a way, right?
What?
It's like HP in a way, right?
Yes, it's like hit points. It's his toughness, and it's a mental toughness and a physical toughness. Like, how much does it take before you break his mind and send him like crying to a corner, to a puddle of tears, or like to hurt his ego so much that he rages and goes into a frenzy and becomes somebody else's problem. But for the
A good way
player,
to put it.
yeah, it's like that's still for me breaking their mental toughness.
Yeah.
But for the player, what happens if you get attacked?
Yeah, so I kind of like I want to talk about it. I started talking about that to you, and you're like, oh, shut up, man, like leave it for the stream. The wound,
Exactly.
the injury system is kind of cool. You know, it abstracts a lot, and I feel like it does a really good job at making it feel dangerous. So you have conditions. Oh, I closed the character sheet. But you have physical conditions and you have mental conditions. Well, there you go. So there, the right side. Every time you take a wound, a damage. So let's say I get shot by like a hunting rifle is 2 damage if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Then I will get 2 physical conditions if if I don't have armor or if I don't like evade or manage to diminish the attack. So I get 2. I would get 2 damage, 2 conditions. But here's the thing: a bullet shot is the same condition. It's wounded. So I get 1 wounded. And if you get 2 of the same condition, then you become broken. And that is basically you're pretty much out of action. So you roll on a critical table is a D66. And you can either die, like lose a finger, get trauma. So you get like this permanent malady, I guess it's called. And same can work with mental ones. So you get wounded once, like you get like stabbed once. You can kind of shrug it off, but you are on the verge of dying now, because if you get stabbed again, or if someone like hits you with like a metal cooking pot in the head, like there's a high chance you're gonna die. I like how like visceral it can be, which again makes the preparation phase important, I think. So it simulates well the idea of it's really dangerous to be in combat. I like that.
And I'm trying to see if I have the PDF open someplace. Uh,
The
hold on.
book?
Yes, the book. Oh, over here. There we go. Because if the enemy works the same way as the player character, it's so deadly. Like fighting two
Oh yeah.
guys with a revolver, yeah, you don't want to mess with that.
Yeah. Which again, in real life, like you don't want to fight more than one guy. You know?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
When
it's
you see exactly when the revolver is drawn, it's like sink or swim, kill,
exactly.
kill or die.
You know, this could. Do you think you could do like a good western with the system? Like the dice mechanic could do a good western? I feel like you kind of could do.
Easily. Yeah,
Yeah.
no worries. The same concepts, but the base
And
in a different setting.
we need to talk about the troll in the room, so to speak, the initiative system.
Right. How does it work, Nicholas?
So
First,
you
let's
get a
explain it first.
deck of cards, right? It's 1 to 10, if I'm
Yeah.
not wrong.
Yes, yes.
They do sell their own cards, which I did not look at, but I presume they look beautiful. You can use like a
You
regular card deck,
yeah,
a deck of
like
cards.
a poker deck should work, like 1 to 10. You use
Yeah.
those cards,
So
ignore the
what you
rest.
do when like combat starts, that's another thing we always complain, right? But you have like to shift into the mini game because you pick the card and you go by the order of the cards. So if I got a 2, you got a 1, and little Joe got 5, then we go through increasing order. Is that how you say? Increasing?
I think like the 10 is first, and you go down
Oh, I
the
thought it was the
numbers.
opposite, but okay. Anyhow,
It's one or
that's
the
how you do
other.
it. But here's the thing: now the whole combat and like all the conflicts, you rely on those cards because you can swap initiatives. So if Zonalar attacks me, and then on my reaction I have more successes than him, I can swap initiatives with him. So now I have the upper hand,
Yes.
and I can give my initiative to someone else. We can trade, which what is simulating I like because it's trying to keep like the combat like wild and like you get the upper hand, you lose the upper hand. That is cool.
It's also
I
like
just
some players they really want to go first, like, oh man, I know exactly what to do. But the other player goes first and it's a standoff. They're about to
hmm,
fight, and you're the character that is really good at diffusing the situation. But
yeah
the barbarian, the warrior, goes first, and he rips the leader's head off. That happens a lot in role-playing
yeah
games. Of can I want to do my things, but I need to work like for 6 minutes, and when it's my turn, the moment is gone. So let me go
exactly.
first. Let's trade cards.
I feel like it also simulates like you've seen movies like especially superhero movies. They're like Iron Man, go! They throw things. So like they kind of like have a routine that they know how to deal with stuff. I think is trying to do that as well.
Yeah.
There's a big emphasis on party there. You have the relationships with the other PCs. Like that's something that should creep up during the game. Either like if you have a good relationship or a bad one with your other players, like that should be some drama. The book wants you to do that. But about the initiatives, I like what's trying to simulate, but I feel like it's pulling you out of the headspace, the mindscape, as Blade Shunner would say. And
Yeah. that
you know,
that was the question of me Sonolar, that's me. Why am I saying my own name? I sound so stupid. Me and Nicholas, as well as other people, 28 millimeters, of course, Table Runner Crispy, Mr. Max. We are trying to role play the 4D way of let's stay in the moment. Let's come up with things happening in the room. I'm flipping the table over and hide behind it. What table? There was no table, but it's a living room. You can assume a table to be there for people to sit at. So we don't have
maybe
to
no.
explain every detail. Or you're in a tavern. I jump for the chandelier to swing over the barrel towards the door. There was no chandelier mentioned, but there could be one in a tavern.
In our little mock-up practice, I did something that I later on noticed that I think the game would not have wanted me to do that. So, like, the fog showed up in the forest, and I guess you could see the picture before here, but this side, I suppose.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, I was playing like this Van Helsing looking guy, right? So I mentioned that he pulls out like this trinket with a bone, the mist, and like expecting to see if he'll react strangely, like to indicate some Fey or like Vaesen presence. And I later
Yeah.
on noticed that that should be a memento, like a little thing. And I don't know if the game would have wanted me to co-create that without having it first. But the way we do is like I'm like a hunter of Vaesen. Like I feel like that's something that I would have. I would have like these little trinkets, you know. I would have like a bud of garlic on me. Like these are basic equipment. I would not have like the napkin of which a virgin maiden wiped her tears away. Like that's too specific. I would not have that, but I would have like a bud of garlic, you know, like a little bone trinket to just see if Vaesen are around. So that's
If
something that
you
we
played,
do in 4D.
if you played a character, since there are archetypes listed, you played a hunter, but there's also the priest, like a Catholic. I think it's the Catholic branch of Christianity. They do like a lot of their mementos, their artifacts of the literal uh, what you just described, the napkin of the Virgin Mary that she personally used, like
Oh, you're talking
as a
about
memento of the local priest that he has for people to pray to. Like we pray to Saint
reliquary.
Peter and to Virgin Mary and whatever local saint has a big name. I believe like Ireland, they have what is their saint called again? Saint
Miss
Patrick.
Patrick. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that would be a very obvious parallel to draw on.
Yeah, so
But
yeah, in our way of
yeah,
gaming, we would pull out of our butts like I have the finger bone of Saint Patrick, like you know, like you'd have that, you know, like if you're a priest
yeah.
or especially if you're a high ranking, I guess, like you're not if you're like I don't remember the hierarchy of
Yes, in
priesthood in
4D
the
roleplay, it's about reasonable uh
exactly.
um what conjuring of the mind, of mindscaping, adding detail. Unreasonable would be I pull out my wand of magic missiles,
Yeah.
to attack
From
the
the
monster.
catacombs of Vatican. I brought it from the catacombs of Vatican.
Oh my God, yes,
Yeah. I would like
like the
Moses'
Exorcist
staff, you know?
movie. Yes,
Yeah.
I bring the slab with the 10 Commandments and slap it over his head. That's
Yeah.
like, well, that is awesome, but now you are not 4D role playing. You're using the rule of cool, where if it's cool, just do it.
Yeah.
But
That's
that
like
breaks
kids
the
playing, right?
immersion.
Kids
Yeah,
playing
that's
with
that's
toys like, my guy has lasers and he's invulnerable to all types of damage.
my red car transforms into a robot that shoots rockets. You know,
Yeah.
so your dinosaur is no match to my RoboCop.
But my dinosaur is a time traveler, so it goes back in. Yeah, so you can like that. That's not what we're doing. And
Yeah,
I feel
that's
like
like
that.
the key difference of 4D roleplay and the rule of cool that
Mhm.
we try to push against.
So that's why we're doing this stream. Like, can you 4D it? Like, of course you can role play. I think like you can role play any game with levels, with degrees of the game wanting or allowing you to do that. And I feel like you can totally role play 100% in Vaesen. But the co-creation is the thing I'm mostly looking forward to. I
Yeah,
feel like if you get used with the Vaesen, I guess you can come up on the spot. But the game really incentivizes you to have it beforehand.
it feels like a disservice to the game if I run Vaesen, and that's what I did. You fought some cultists, and I decided at the gunshot, oh, that's what disturbs the forest. And I was
Hmm.
still in my mind, like thinking, oh, you're fighting bandits, but you say cultists, so I have to change my approach. Okay, why are the cultists here? You are hunting them. So let something cultish happen. The spirit of the forest gets disturbed. And then the cultist decides to slice himself open to allow the drug far manifest
Oh,
into the
that's
forest.
cool, because I guess that's like keeping in your headspace, because my character, like, he hid behind a tree, so you just described the sound of something like slicing, and in my head I thought, oh,
Yes.
whatever was out there attacked him and possessed
No,
him. But in
no.
reality, he's so that's kind of cool, like, because my character wouldn't know, so I didn't know either.
Yes, that's I was very much trying to keep that 40 role play. I'm
Explain
telling
from
you
my
what
point of
happens.
view, right?
Yeah, but you're not looking. You just
Yeah.
get to listen. A slice of meat. So, like, I'm not describing a dagger because you would not see a dagger. Like, I'm trying to, in my head, like the rib cage would burst open and the creature would grow out of his body. But with the fog, you do not see the details. You just see, like, if you are looking, the cultist growing in stature to double the size. Like falling down, like the sound of a man hitting his knees, like laying down on his knees. I described that part, like you would recognize that reasonably without looking in that direction.
Yeah, good point. You get a 4G point there. Nice star.
Yes,
Good.
victory.
Yeah.
So, what? I mean, what was the problem? We did not record it. We tried to figure out the combats, the Vaesons, and
We did
as
okay.
as
We
I
did ignore, just to make sure. We did ignore the card system. There was the one thing we decided we're not gonna do it as the book is telling us to do. But that was not a problem really, because it was only you and I
no,
think the game wants you to play at least with other, like, a party member.
if you have a group of people with different characters, it's useful to switch initiative to be like, if you are the hunter that is very vigilant, that vigilance helps you to gain an advantage to get first, to be first. Like you can roll, I think you can like roll a stealth check to gain an advantage with your card, so you get like a faster turn. There are some rules, and I have to look at it a bit closer again. I had the
Yeah.
initiative and rounds open for a little bit, but that is supposed to help you to you play the rogue, you play the guardsman, that you don't get ambushed and eviscerated because you had bad luck with the card. All right, that was it. If you like succeed your stealth, you can swap your bad card with the enemy's card.
You get a new one for every, like, step you progress. Actually, you pick a new one from the pile,
Oh,
and you keep the
oh,
best
you
one.
pick a new one.
So,
Oh,
like,
yes, right.
if you keep succeeding, you eventually, like, have the first initiative, and you can pretty much, like, breeze through whatever you're doing. So it really relies, like, on the card mechanics for conflicts, which, again, like I said, it's cool what it tries to simulate, but it takes you out of character.
Is it this one, the ambush and sneak attack?
Yeah.
The sneak attack is you gain more dice to attack with if you succeed. And yeah, if
the sneak
successful,
attacks fails, you are detected, and your opponents may draw. Oh, so that your opponent may draw an extra initiative card and pick the best one. So they get. So this is like their alertness level, like, going up. Like in
yes.
video games. Oh, they are.
What was that?
Must have been doing
Yeah.
it. The next time is like red, like orange. Like next one is they know you're there.
But just like you said, if you're successful, you draw another card, and then you can pick which one you like.
Oh, okay. It's like success
which
levels in a way, right?
yeah, that's cool in
It's
a
smart.
like a game design. It's smart
Mm.
design, but for role play, when you try to role play, I see it like the way I like to phrase it. As soon as combat initiative starts, roleplay is the first victim on the chopping block. When we try to decide how to win the combat, especially if it's hard combat, right? And
Mm.
people are invested in staying alive over creating a cool story, like role playing their characters. I can play a barbarian who wants blood, and jump himself into the heat of danger and die in a glorious fire. And if I play that barbarian, that would be my goal. Above winning combat,
Mm.
above staying alive, is die in a blaze of fire, make people remember me. But if you're the rogue, then your goal should be like, I mean, it's up to you to decide. But most rogues would be, oh, in the face of danger, I dip and live to,
Exactly.
live, survive. What's it called? To live another day.
Yeah. Survive to tell the story.
Yes. Who lives, who dies, who tells the story? The bard. The bard has to tell the story when everybody
Yeah.
dies.
I mean,
So I'm out of
that's a
here.
bard's job anyway. Uh, a bard is a chronicler anyway. But yeah, like
Yes.
what were we talking about? So we talked about initiative because just to tell it how it works. Really, I don't feel like that can affect roleplay, the cards, like you said. So if you want to 4D it, you'd have to do something else with it. And I'm not really sure what would be the best way to do that to make it very unobtrusive.
If it's on a table, picking cards can be fast.
Hmm.
It can be emotion, but you have to, just like at the table when you decide we want to 4D, you have the same mindset with the players. Like, let us not get distracted by the funny cards and like make it a mini game. It's a tool we use to help us with the role play so that we know whose turn it is. And then the game master can still say, Eagle, look at the player and like give him a hand signal, maybe. Like I do this very often. The finger,
Yeah.
and do it like this. Rick does it a lot as well, and I really like it when he does it. It keeps the flow moving and
Yeah.
not stopping dead in the tracks and guessing whose turn it is.
Especially because turn order is gonna be changing a lot in this game. So
Yes.
exactly.
Since it's
Like
only us two, we rolled a d10 instead.
oh yeah, and
And if it's the
it
same die,
was
then you're first. Because why not?
yeah, because I can die in 2 taps, right?
Yes.
Which again, I think it's a good point for the game. I really like the damage system. Also, I guess talking about combat, it does use zones, which is a design choice that is getting more and more popular. I feel like I do that as well. It keeps things fast, keeps things moving. A zone is a distinct area in a place, or a zone is this radius around you that you could get in a few steps. So like if you're in a house, like each room could be a zone, or if it's a large living room, it can be like 3 zones, like the center table, the left side, the right side, the side, the kitchen, things like that. And that's how you do
Yeah.
distance as well. Like the range of a weapon is like 2. That means you can shoot at 2 zones away.
It's to allow, like, how do we define distance? A 0 means you're in melee, you're
Yeah,
punching somebody, you're
it's
having,
arm range,
you're
arm
getting,
length.
the bandit is trying to shiv you with his dagger, a rapier duel. the one, the range of with your revolver, you have a 0 to 1. You can shoot a revolver in melee, or you can shoot like across the room into the living room to where you suspect the bandit hiding as the floorboard creaks under his weight. And with the rifle, the same. Like, oh yeah, the zone of 1, you can hit him in the next zone, or you can hit him 3 zones away. Like,
There is a
let's say
minimum
you're at
for the
the
rifle.
butcher's market stall, shooting across the town. What's it called? The market floor to the
Square.
taverns, to the market square, to the tavern's entrance where the guy is you want to shoot. That
Like
to me
4
can be 3
zones.
zones.
Yeah.
Like a market square is 1 zone, like roughly, unless
Okay.
you are in the market square with several people, like trying to keep distance. Now we split up the market square into several zones.
And there, can you find the not pursuing or chasing, the chasing section there? Because it does mix. Then you have to take the keep track of the zones and the initiative cards as well. Like that's how you chase someone.
So we have movement in combats over here. This one?
Keep going down. There's like chasing, ambushing, or something like that.
Yeah, so yeah, the movement is you can spend a fast action to like get into close combats. It's not
there is
dodging.
like I think it's below
There's
that.
The fleeing and chasing.
Yeah. If you fail, you remain the same. You cannot flee if doing so requires you to move through a zone occupied by an enemy. This does not include the zone that the character starts returning. An opponent standing in the same zone as you know. She uses reaction to she uses reaction to chase and then makes an agility test. Each of her successes deducts 1 success from your result. If she manages to deduct all your successes, you stay in the fight, both of you. Okay, so there's nothing about the initiative. I just read the book a little. I was wrong about that.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. But the system is cool. I'm not a big fan of dice pool. Like, I was rolling like 10 d6s just for shooting a rifle every time.
All right. Hello, Solmir. Thank you for joining.
I lagged.
Yeah, we use the fleeing mechanic shortly, since you've hit 1 cultist and he perished by the bullets. I decided these like a cultist, a normal human with strange beliefs, will have 2 physical. What was it called? I mentioned it before.
Body.
Toughness. 2 physical toughness. Like he can take 2 wounds before he gets broken. You know, like if it's like a named character, I would let him roll on the physical table of like what happens to him, or just decide he has a bleeding wound, like down on the floor, incapacitated, and the players could decide to like patch him up for questioning later. But he was a mook, so he perished. The second cultist ran away with an agility check, successfully moving 1 zone between you and a fallen tree that he used to escape over.
Yeah. So, like, what do you think of the? I see what's doing with having the NPCs. They don't have wounds. I guess it's trying to simplify the GM's life. But the attributes are the same, right, for humans?
Yes, I've looked it up again.
That's fine.
They use the same attributes.
And I think animals use too, right? If you're playing like a fox or you're as an
normal
NPC
animals, normal animals should.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If they're Vaesen, then you have the Vaesen attributes. You want to talk about that?
Yes. Vaesen have different attributes.
That made you a little bit confused, which again we did impromptu game. I guess you should have done some homework before. So I'm not saying that that's a bad thing of the game. That's on us.
Yeah, that's on me. Something to play this game. If we want to make it justice, we should take the strength of the system. Like, what was the system designed? It's literally in the name, the Vaesen. And the Vaesen, as explained, they have a strategy, they have their own talents, and you give them a secret.
Yeah.
Yes, they have a secret, they have a ritual, like how you can defend yourself from a Vaesen, ward yourself off from a Vaesen. And those are the things that the players should figure out somehow. They have to like follow the lead, because if they don't figure out and you're just in combat, you end up fighting a troll with 15 might to roll against you. And he will have a club that gives him 6 extra die to hit you, or something like that. And the club would not be an object, it would be an ability, the club, or clubbing. And the other ability...
a tree, right?
Yes. And another ability would be Fake Hide. When he gets hit, I roll with 6 extra die and his physical stat to defend from...
So I roll like 15 dice at once?
Yes.
That's too much, I feel like.
I don't think so. I mean, that's exactly what's gonna...
That's because you play Shadowrun, I think.
No. I'm not saying... I will say it's a lot of damage, absolutely, but it's not too much, because too much is let us decide what makes it too much. Was it this one? Oh, this was a troll.
Man, more than 10 to me is like too much.
It means it's deadly. You need to really decide if you're going to fight this or not.
I get you, but I don't know.
So that's the difference.
It's a personal preference.
Do we know the ritual? Do we know the secret? Or do we have to fight this because we failed at solving the puzzle? And now it's survival.
I do want
now,
to mention,
now it becomes a horror game.
The book shows you, like, there is, like, under the ranged weapons, like, a cannon. I just want to mention because I feel like finding a cannon and manning it would be very cool in the game, like shooting a cannon through a troll's chest. That would feel really satisfying.
There we go. This is the giant that I have looked at.
So you were using him as a... Okay. So they have special conditions, each one of them, right? That you can tick off. So that's another like level of complexity for the monster of the week. But because I guess it's only one monster per mystery or adventure, as they call it, I guess that's not so much of a problem, because you're only manning like one big guy.
Yeah, if you're the game master, you should not worry about, let's add some fairies and 2 trolls and the giant and have the players figure all of them out, because then you will overwhelm the player. It's a realistic game in the 1900s of human politics and strong beliefs, and as the book says, one rule is always... What did it say? Like, it always works under the same rule. It's us against them. And you don't want to be them, because if you're them, you are getting witch hunted, right? You get ostracized. Your life is forfeit, so to say.
Yeah. Okay, so combat, they have the fist or club, boulder. Oh, like... Okay. You're throwing a boulder. Jump is an attack, like stomping?
Yeah.
It's only 2 damage? Okay. Figured it would be more.
Yeah, if
So
he
yeah,
like jumps at you, I
the
guess.
characteristics, right? Instead of having physique, logic, you have might, body control, magic, manipulation, and fear. It's like how much fear you can instill in someone's heart.
I assume that's what it does. Manipulation does say this is deceiving somebody,
Okay.
you know.
Oh, why does the
So
giant have 5? Oh,
yeah.
that's not so much. Okay, that's not so much.
So I mean, yeah, the giant.
There's
When I
higher.
hear giant, I think of like all the Viking legends, like
Yeah, the
Jotunheim.
Jotun. Yeah.
Yeah, they are double your size or triple your size.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy having 15 might make sense. If he attacks you with his arm, it's a literal, like it's bigger than a tree trunk swing for your body.
Mm-hmm.
If that hits you, good luck. I was thinking of a troll because like I scroll down, I see this guy.
Yeah, it looks like a
In my
troll.
head, he was it was a bit smaller. It's like, oh, that's a troll, but no, it's a giant. They are much bigger.
So yeah, you got the secret there, right? So the secret is pretty much how you can banish it, right? Or how can you subdue it, right?
Do we want the secret on the stream, or are we gonna ruin this for everybody? I'm not sure.
I think it's just one is okay. I feel like.
Okay.
Just an example.
Let's do.
Like the giants are only frightened by church bells when they are rung by Christian believers. That's another thing. Like the game really does the thing. Like Vaesen really do not like Christianity. Like I guess it's like the thing with paganism versus Christianity, and they do mention that the game does not like the game does not like mention if God and the devil are real, but like because people believe they are, their effect is felt through in a way. And even the Vaesen, like they don't know about it; they just exist. But yeah, the same goes for crosses and holy water. Most giants call each other nicknames so as to not reveal their true name. However, they always have a place where their real name is carved and hidden. For example, on the underside of a boulder. So I guess that the way to make a giant like talk with them would be if you find their name, you can like maybe trick them into thinking that you can curse them, so like they will go away or something like that.
Yeah, I like that. I'm actually not sure if is it a supposition? Is this like how Vaesen work once you know the true name? And
At least for
it's
the
very
giant,
much
could be.
Yeah. It does not have to be a hard rule. It can be simply to, well, does he believe it's real, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole magic behind it.
Yeah. So I guess for Dean, like, so let's say you hired write the secret into it, or during the game you decide, oh, you know what, the secret is blah blah blah. We can like as the characters should not 4D because the game mentions that there is a talent that you can co-create something in your favor, but it mentions that players should never co-create a fact about a Vaesen. So I feel like the game really don't want you to 4D the secret. So that is something that the game wants you, let's say, to 3D it only, like only role play it, but should not co-create. There should be a mystery behind it.
Well, that is in line with 4D roleplay. I like the way Rick phrases it. We create the knowns with the players. What is known? Oh, it's a space western. We have a ship. The ship is like an old-timey ship, but it's a classic, you know? Like a, what's the word? Like a hot rod? You know, like a real cool old car, but it's a space car. There's no real value, but the sentimental value and the collector's value is high. And you create those knowns, and the players should know about them, and the game master creates the unknowns. And here, the unknown would be the Vaesen. You don't know what's going on with them.
Maybe the old lady in the village, you know, the healer.
Yes.
She has a charm to but she doesn't know how it works either, right?
Yeah. So you might hear a story about it, but I would like lean away from like the players 4Ding.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've heard this about trolls. Like they die through acid and fire. That would be
Yeah.
pretty much like, well, you cannot, unless it's a story you've heard, that would be like a skill check. And even then,
Okay.
you don't 4D it, then the game master gives you that information.
I
If you
feel
like
like
succeed in like looking through the books.
the game would become a roguelike though, because the first time you play you don't know, but then let's say we play like the sixth game, and then we
Yes.
see a troll again. Like I as a player have the knowledge. Like should trolls be consistent, and should the name thing always work, or could you then decide that, you know, for this session the trolls they work completely different now? The giants, they don't have the name thing. Like, is that something that you should do, or should the world be consistent and I as a player should not meta game that? But what if I want to play a character who's already seasoned and like, oh, like I've heard about giants before. You know, usually if you find their name, you can bada boom.
So if it's the same characters, and there's like a second troll, I would assume that he has a different secret.
Okay.
So
But that secret is like a general thing about the giants, right?
Yes, the ones that were listed is like this works for giant. But so if I were to run Vaesen as a campaign, right, I will never use the same Vaesen twice.
Yeah, because it's Monster of the Week.
Yeah.
Except for the special episode where they bring back something, like they have a mashup, you know, it's everybody you fought before. They come back to it. Even Scooby-Doo does that.
Yeah. That's fine. Or like bring
down
back
memory
a
lane.
Vaesen. Bring
Remember
back a
the
Vaesen
time?
that. Yeah, I mean, like bring back a Vaesen that you've talked out of the problem that caused like to the whole village, but he didn't kill anybody. Like no harm, no real harm was done. What got destroyed was rebuilt, and maybe you can use the Vaesen as an asset because it's a role-playing game. It's up to you to decide like how weird do you get, or are you completely lawful trying to eliminate the Vaesen, the dangers from the village, and secure civilization in your neck of the woods.
Did you look into the section campaign?
Campaign section? No.
Go there because I think it talks about that. Like
so
how it should be done.
After creating a Vaesen open over here to a showcase for people who are worried like, oh, I've like 20 creatures. Does it mean I'm done playing the game after 20 sessions? Is the book useless? It's
this
like,
is
no.
not a paid sponsorship.
Yeah.
It could be.
But it gives you the tools to create. If you want to play with the rule set some more, here are some examples of different Vaesens in different regions.
Oh, it mentions you could play in a different region of the world too. It doesn't need to be like the Nordic, mythic Nordic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have the Baba Yaga in Eastern Europe. We have the Ifrits from the Middle East. Or the Central Europe, if you play in the Schwarzwald in Germany, or in the Alps, you know, in Switzerland, old
Africa and
Helvetica.
Oh.
Yeah. So you can localize the experience to your table. If you're a bunch of Germans playing the game, you can draw from your own fairy tale history, folklore, to make it exciting for your table and you can do the opposite. Hey, Nicholas is from Brazil. He wants to run a game. Let's get a bunch of Brazilian Vaesens. And it's alien and awesome for me as a Swiss player.
Less prep for me.
Yeah, and I would know about it. It would be easier for you, and the game would still work.
Yeah. See, we can bring people together, man, with with our differences. It does give you tips, right? How to like adjust the numbers as well if you want to create one, which is good. If you go
Yes,
to page 192, campaign.
got it.
Oh, it's hyperlinked. Beautiful. Good book. Great book. I didn't know that. It talks there like how it should be done in this game, and I didn't see this before. I just seen this now. When playing campaigns, it is common to play scenes from the player's character's lives in between mysteries. For example, a character getting married or having trouble with the law or being admitted to a mental hospital. It might also be fun to have a mystery take place in Uppsala or even at the headquarters. So you want to have, see, you have the beach episode. You want to have the episode where it's just
you
like
have more. The game allows you to be more slice of life of what happens in your lives. Let's go to the mundanity of living before we go to the mysterious underbelly of the forest of a Vaesen
and
disrupting everything.
the game wants drama in between characters to be a factor during like the hunt, so to say. So I feel like
Yeah,
you could like start a relationship with one of the players' characters, and then like break off, and that can be like maybe a Vaesen can use that against you, like you know.
yeah. It's I like that. I don't usually like it if it's forced upon the players, but the big problem in role-playing games is that people playing it like a tabletop. And I say problem because when I want to play a role-playing game, I expect people to role-play. And but most people, if when they want to play a role-playing game, they want to win the session. They want to beat the monster. They want to collect the experience points. So it's about like what is the goal. That's why we 4D role play. We set the goal at the beginning by saying, let's do a 4D session. The goal is to role play. If we survive or if we win, if we beat the monster, is secondary in the order of priority.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so if you're playing a campaign, let's say 5 sessions, 6 sessions long, to keep the 6, right? I say
Yeah.
we try not to go over that. Like one session is like, would you do like Shadowrun in the way that you do a session to prep, like find thing, investigate, buy equipment, and the other
So
session is
there is a lot of comparison to Shadowrun. Both like with the dice pool system, you have your what was it, might? No, for you it was a different skill, physique, right? You have your physique attribute, and you have your force skill, like that makes you a good boxer, a good puncher, a good lifter, a good wrestler, and you use both your physique and your force. You have 4 physique and 4 force, and you roll 8 dice, and every 6 is a success. That's very similar to Shadowrun. If you roll a 5 or a 6 in Shadowrun, that counts as a success. But the difference would be in Shadowrun, you have a lot more dice and a lot more modifiers to keep track of, where Vaesen does not, since it's only one book, you don't have that problem with rules bloat, where you have to keep track of 8 different books of whatever the characters picked to play around with. And I
like
like
I
that.
said, it's simple, the
Yeah, go ahead.
mechanics. Well, we said in the beginning, like it is simple to get the hang of how you should be rolling for things.
Yeah.
That was not a problem for our little mock-up practice session.
yeah, it has like the same DNA. Like I feel like it's from the same tree, the same strain
Yeah.
connected of you roll to attack and he will try to block. And if you take a shot, he will have to use his athletics to dodge because you cannot block an arrow or a bullet. That's not a
Yeah.
thing. Try to block the cannonball. Yeah, good luck. No, no, you're not. And
Exactly.
yes, and the similarities of what this game does is it tells you in the rules to between the mysteries you have the mundane of a character being married or getting into trouble with the law, pacing the game to not be about the Vaesen. The Vaesen is it's like the hero's journey, your mundane life, and then you go into the underworld to
Hmm.
into the unknown. You switch between the known and the unknown. And
Exactly.
I'm very much in favor of that. It's always been a problem at my tables when we play Shadowrun. Well, yeah, I've talked about it like a dozen times by now.
But you can
It's
talk
like,
more, man. It's your channel.
yeah, you're right. You're here with me.
Exactly. I'm locked in
Yeah,
here with you.
yeah. But the problem up in Shadowrun very often is you already have a character that is that you've played multiple times, and you like the character, so you play him for the session, and you end up playing with Shadowrunners you've never met before, or only as once before. And it's always a new constellation of Shadowrunners trying to
Mm.
solve the mystery. But the because it's different players, like the assumptions about the world of Shadowrun changes every time. Because there's just so much in Shadowrun, you don't have the same structure every time. Like every game master has his own interpretation. The game is like six editions old by now, like over 40 years or something. And it also changed. The time changed inside the game too. Like now you have Wi-Fi to deal with uh, in the game that makes hacking different. And you have every class has completely different rules. Like magic is different, hacking is different, fighting is different, melee is different from shooting guns, and all of the extras of the gun porn mechanic of you can modify, mix and match,
Hmm.
and use all of the extra supplement rulebooks to make a character exactly how you want. And most of them makes the character broken and very hard for the game master to deliver like a tense game session. That is the word I
Hmm.
really like. When I have a Vaesen, right? So the party they want to do something. I ask you, what kind of characters are you playing? What is the dynamic that you go for? Like, what is the inciting incident that the interesting part that we are starting a role playing session to play it out that you want to see what happens. Maybe it's just like you're all from the same village and something happened to the village.
Yeah. Can you go to your player character section, chapter 2, real quick? It's page 18, I think, 17. Because it
All
talks
right,
about
let's
that.
see.
So when you create a character, you should have a relationship. You should like write a relationship. So like you have a trauma, which is the event that made you start seeing Vaesen. Like you got attacked, you fell into a well and
You
got rescued
Yeah,
by
you fell into a
fairies.
well. I
Yeah.
like that.
It's just a well. There's nothing magic in it, but it was
And you
traumatic enough
just
for
fell
you.
down.
It was traumatic
You're
enough
stuck
for you.
there crying out, nobody heard you, you survived on worms and grub for like
Mm.
2 months before you made it out.
Wow. Okay. You're the bug boy now. That's your
Yeah.
Batman origin. Then you have your dark secret, which it's supposed to be dark and a secret. So in the case of my character, I took from the archetype. It suggested me one like I had like a changeling child with a wood wife, which is like a
One
nymph
of
pretty
the
much.
Vaesen.
Yeah,
Uh,
and so that's ammunition for you to bring up during either like the off time session, like we are in the headquarters, or during a game. So I think that's cool. It's helping you have a character that feels alive, and also giving ammunition for the GM to make interesting and exciting stuff happen. Now imagine if
yes.
you have, but okay, imagine if you have like 4 players. There will be a lot of secrets too, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But I think that's
That's
fine,
yeah,
especially if
let's
like
talk
some
let's talk
players
about this a little bit.
yeah, let's say like 2 players share the same secret because they did the thing together. They both killed like they both witch hunt the girl, and then they find out she was actually like innocent. Like, like hide the secrets. Nobody can
Like
ever know that.
maybe they were both thieves, but a guard caught them. Like he caught one of them red-handed, and the other
Mm.
guy stabbed him in the ribs, and he ended up bleeding to death. And that's a dark secret. Like, like we just wanted to steal some bread to survive. Now we have blood on our hands of a dead guard. That's the dark secret. That like
But
would fit real well.
should other players know of it?
Now,
It may be
those two
linked to your
players might know about
trauma.
it, right?
Yeah, something, but either way, it's to actually affect the game. Yeah,
Oh,
it should
sorry.
affect the game. It makes things difficult for you in Uppsala as well on your travels. Perhaps you're hounded by government agents, hiding your alcoholism, suffering from delusions. It is a game master's job to make sure that your dark secret comes into focus in your stories. Incorporating the secret into the game makes the mysteries more fun, even it may cause trouble for your players. Should your dark secret be resolved, or if you are getting bored with it, you should replace it with something else. So there should always be something, even if you like.
Now, yeah, let's talk about it. About like Dungeons and Dragons, different role-playing games. I know you know the problem of, oh, I play a character, but he is not an orphan. I have wife and kids. And the game master goes, oh, that's
Okay.
very interesting. Oh, apparently your kids got kidnapped by the last orc marauder gang that went through town. Now you have to save your kids. And you as a player might say, what the actual fuck? Can I not just have a happy family? I'm out there
No.
like in the unknown. Yes, I'm like putting myself out there in the unknown to gain money, gain fame, like
Support
make
my
sure that
family.
support my family. But the game master looks at the character sheet and thinks, you know what would be fun? Let me ruin his entire life, like traumatize the player character.
You know what? Your escapism is my playground.
Yes.
That is fun to me.
But in Vaesen, we are setting the expectation of
the
dark secret is what you pick, of what haunts you, the thing you don't want people to know, that I will use to your detriment. So the player can say, like, they can go as hard as they want with this. And they can choose, like, oh, I don't want to be like, I murdered my own wife. Like, no, I want like a happy, maybe I'm married and it's quite well when we start off. So let's do the dark secret that's unrelated to that.
Yeah. Here. Yeah, relationships. It's 2 pages below. 21.
All right, let's go.
It's like just a little paragraph. So if you have a relationship with each, no, not if, you have a relationship with each of the other player characters. At the start of the game, you all know each other. You may have just become acquainted with each other or be friends your whole lives. For each of the other characters, so that's like even NPCs, I assume. For each of the other characters, choose a relationship from your archetype or make up one of your own. The other player must approve the relationship. Relationship should be interesting without making you enemies. You must be able to travel and work together. So I really realized like you should really do the Scooby-Doo thing. Like you are a group.
Yes.
You're not meeting the guy at the moment, which okay, I guess it's fine. The game wants you to do. That's the theme. That's the genre.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of games do this. What was it? Matt Colville, the Critical Role game that's in production right now. I think it's in the beta still, where you can
Matt
play
Colville
you can
or
play.
wait. Critical Role is
No,
not
no,
Matt Colville.
Matt Mercer,
Oh, okay.
Critical Role. I forgot what it was called. I played a session too.
Daggerheart.
Daggerheart. Yes, thank you. That one also has like, and now you decide on the relationship between your characters. Like in previous D&D, you didn't have that as a thing.
Yeah, could be a background thing, but it was not something that was in front of your character sheet, for you to keep in mind.
It was not enforced. It's something that players had to come up with themselves, and when they did, they usually liked it. I always loved when I make a character,
fun.
I look at the table and at the other characters and ask, hey, let's make a relationship between our characters. I'm your apprentice, or I'm your father, or you stole from me. Let's make something interesting. Because I want more than being 4 gray blobs out there to kill a dragon. It's
exactly like I don't know who you are, but I'm fighting life or death alongside you. That
exactly.
can work. But like when it's that every time, it's like kind of strange. Like why are these randos meeting together to like die?
Yeah, how many times have you been at a gaming convention to play a role-playing game and the characters knew each other? Because people are going to show up with the folder. Okay, I have a level 4 character, I have a level 12 character. What level is the campaign at? Level 7? I guess I can take this level 6 character, like level him up. And then you're just, you're playing the Shadowrun, you're playing the D&D of the Adventure League type system of nobody knows each other. And we do the adventure. And it's boring because there's no chemistry between the player characters.
Mm-hmm.
Even if the adventure itself is well written, you cannot follow your own aspirations because you will feel like you let everybody else down because you cannot see what happens in the story. So that's the part of like, oh, we must all follow the one true path of the adventure, the adventure path.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a video game,
Yeah, hop on the adventure train that follows one rail. And maybe you have a fork, you choose one or the other.
It's like an MMO, like you enter the dungeon, like it's kind of the same thing every time. You like said there may be a fork, but then you leave like, okay, let's do it again. Then you get inside like that is not good for RPGs.
And when you have a relationships between the characters, you can do the same dungeon over and over again. But every time it changes the session of how people interact with each other. So the role play is what makes it fun. Get it, guys? So that's why we role play instead of doing the dungeon.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's what the game said, but like, let's say we're like on the 3rd session together, and like there's been some beef between my hunter and like another guy, to the point where like it becomes like they pretty much become enemies. Like during like the thick of something happening, like they start fighting. Like I'd be down to like they killing each other by accident, but I don't know if the game wants that to happen. Like if it's explicitly written, like that should not happen. It kind of gave me that vibe.
At least in the beginning. We can look at the rules, but I don't think the game sets rules for that because those are all player conflicts,
and they should interpersonal, right?
Yes, and so they should be solved by the players if they want to go in that direction or not. Because we have rules of you flee somebody, you use your agility, or you try to shoot him without him noticing. Roll a stealth, I roll a vigilance if you can get yourself into position. Or, if you fail, then it's the kind of thing of the other guy like leans against the wall nonchalantly, but in a way that lets him keep you like at the corner of his eye to make sure you don't try any funny business and stuff like that. So you can use the rule how you want. And if you end up fighting amongst each other, it's all great role play and great drama.
Yeah.
As long as the players think,
I feel
yeah,
like
that's fine.
the best games are when players are role playing with each other more than with the world.
It's certainly more dynamic because who knows the characters the most? The player.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't know if that happened with one of our games so far. Like a strong between players. Like I feel like the Battle Trauma game we played kind of went that way, but there was more conflict between my character and the NPCs, like especially the team guy, the guard man. Like we had like something.
Yes.
We had some tension there, and I feel like I really like that game because of the tension of like, oh, there could be a mutiny at any moment, and Somir like he felt that all the time. So like
you are really in a pressure cooker underwater, and it can implode at any moment.
We already lost half the crew, and a mutiny may happen. That was a cool game.
The fun part was devouring all the characters with my monster, but the most fun part is watching you survive the aftermath. Like, what do we do? So
everybody's depressed. They're like, no, I'm gonna cook this thing to
I've
get some more.
I've established the NPCs, right? Now I have a clear idea. A lot of them died, so I have less of them to keep track of.
Which is
now
bad.
I have like a band of illustrious characters that all have noticeably different for you to interact with. So you can choose, let's player characters band together to get the rest under control, or the other characters get you under control, get you to fall in line and follow, like, no, I'm gonna be the new captain. I'm head of security. I'm taking charge, and Solmir going in and be like, fall in line, soldier. I'm taking. I will take responsibility of the ship. We do not want to die out
That's
here.
the thing too. My character also set him up, but it's so funny because like my character was doing something, and I feel like Somir was like, I cannot leave him alone. Like. So like calling Bartholomew to the like every 10 minutes. It's like, gosh dang it, man, just
I'm
not conspiring against you yet.
And it only got worse and worse with the mutiny.
The threat of mutiny, but yeah. So that was, I really like that game because of that. Like, I feel like the RPGs shine when characters interact with each other. And I feel like Vaesen can have that with the monster, with the Vaesen, because the Vaesen should be a character. He's not just like troll number 3. It's like the troll has a name. The troll like has a dark secret.
Yes.
Maybe that one troll like is deeply scared of sheep for some reason, against all odds. And you find that out, like, you should be a character, like you could talk with it. I don't know if a troll is like smart enough, but that is, you should be able to. The Vaesen should be people in the sense that they have emotions, they have feelings.
They play by their own rules, so it will depend on the Vaesen. I did not read any of them. Like I just like looked at all of them.
The pictures.
And when we played, I did not have a Vaesen, so I made one up on the spot.
It
I
worked
think
out.
I dropped the name through the
You did say
cultist,
like a very Germanic thing that I did
the
not
Drak,
remember.
the
Yeah.
Drakvar. And you know what this is? It's like
No.
it's
A
it's
warg?
like a timber wolf, but it's more shaped like a
Oh.
bear, made out of bark.
Okay.
A
I heard like
manifestation,
warg. I was like, okay, like a war. I
yeah,
get. Okay, I'm on. You know,
yes, like a
I
massive
fished that.
wolf. But
A
it's
wooden
all
wolf.
wood. It's all bark.
Oh,
It's
okay.
vines. It's tree trunks,
Oh,
and it's a
okay.
monster from World of Warcraft. You know,
Oh, there you go. I
yeah.
didn't know, so
And
it worked out.
in there, and that's very much like I very much see the parallels of in World of Warcraft that's a Vaesen. They are
Mm-hmm.
already. This is where the droids from the human faction they draw from the Drakvar. They bind themselves to the Drakvar, like build a relationship. But most of them are pretty evil because the human have been chopping off the forests to build their civilization over there. So they are very much the boogeyman of the region
Mm.
that have control over nature and mess with you, like these effigies in the woods of
Mm-hmm.
like a dream catcher, but with bones and raven feathers and whatever spread around. So that for me, because I'm playing World of Warcraft right now, that's the parallel I drew while we play the game. Like,
Oh, it sounds
that's
like that.
awesome.
The last thing you
Let me
watched
use
or
this.
played is the main source of inspiration for whatever you do when you role play. That's just human.
Yeah.
It's fine.
You think of what what would be cool, and I thought Nicholas has never heard of this. He's not gonna know what to do.
Oh,
So
you know what? I think like using Vaesen to play like a game setting like Japan, like a yokai game, would work very well. Especially because you have like
yeah,
a long list of yokai. I feel like the game, like Scooby Doo game, like most of the weak games, I think you can use
instead of
Vaesen to play that.
1900s, it's like the 1300s or something.
Yeah, they
We
still
play
had
the
muskets,
Shogun,
so
the
yeah,
Shogun era. Yeah, they invented. I'm not sure if it was the Chinese or the Japanese, but the Asians they invented the muskets so much
yeah.
earlier. They figured out the technology, and you have the interplay of all of the local politics of keeping yourself very much inside. But now let's
Hmm.
make all of the myths of the region, of the Shinto religion and the
Yeah.
Buddha religions, real. They manifest.
Just change the Christians to like the Shinto priests with the charms and things. Like it worked out perfectly. You can
Exactly.
do that. It'll be a very cool game as
It
well.
would be harder to play because as players, you
Culture.
would have to explore and read a bit into it.
Oh, yeah, I
And
mean
it
that's with anything,
like
right? You need to
yeah.
some inside, like at least movies. Like you have to have played like a few games at least. You know, like video games.
Video games, movies, books. Because
Yeah,
if you
if you
don't,
played
then yeah, if you don't,
Sekiro,
you end up with very like a pulp fiction type game where you're skinned like a Shinto priest, but you throwing stars and beat them up with a stick because you saw that
I
in
mean,
a movie once. You're like,
if
well,
your whole
that's not
table
actually what a
is
priest
into
would do,
that,
but
yeah.
yeah.
Uh, like not in a verdict tone. Would you say you can 4D in Vaesen after we talked a bit here?
So I say yes, but I will draw the line of the knowns and unknowns. You can
Yeah.
4D known facts, and the unknowns is the Vaesen. That is, I cannot 4D on the Vaesen like stories I've heard, but I can 4D that I've heard stories about them before. The librarian told me about it, but I'm not sure if he lives in the town anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to town and find him and see if we can reconnect,
Okay.
get some information.
My main question is still like, okay, let's say we play the giant, the Vaesen of the week was a giant. Then next time we play, no, like 1 year after we play, we decide to join up together and play again. And you know what? Let's do another giant. Should I impart the knowledge of the name? Like they hide their names. Like I don't know if because it's set in stone. Like giants, their names are a secret. Like that can be a thing.
So I
Doesn't
don't
mean
think
that you
so.
can bribe it with the name, but that's still like a truth about the setting that I'm meta importing.
That's very much a thing of I see those stats, and if it's a giant, the game itself, right? It says like, oh, it's Scandinavia, it's Norway, it's Sweden, but you can pick different regions and make the regions have flavor to be their own thing. We have a map that's beautiful to look at of the Balkan Sea. So every region they can be different.
Baltican, right?
The Baltic Sea, the Baltic Sea.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because Balkans, the Balkan lands, I think that is at the Middle Sea, the Mittelmeer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's completely different place. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's a completely different place further south. So, it's a giant, but one of them is a hill giant. The other one is a frost giant.
So they can still
one
like
of them, one of them is a Jotun, and he's completely different from the giants that you know. Like, oh no, we actually smith our helmets and we have steel swords and are in eternal wars with whatever. So for me, that is very much a thing that you can homebrew whenever you want. But if you do that, then you write down their secrets. You write down their strengths before the session starts. Because you want to give your players a chance. Yeah, that's the prep. Give the players a chance of figuring it out. Because if you don't, it might lean into the game master just making it up. And because he just makes it up, how can the players figure it out?
Let's say we're playing the game, you wrote down, like, you created a Vaesen based off of something specific, and during the game, like, the players, like, they come up with a suggestion that is better than the secret you envision. You'd still change it, or not? Or should you keep to the spirit of the game and no, this is like already, the secret is this? Let's say like we're talking like, oh, what if...
It depends. It depends if the secret already affected events in the game.
Like if you break the continuity?
Yes. So like the secret, because of the secret, the troll already killed somebody who was about to look under the boulder. But then the players come up with a better solution of what the secret could be. Where I would be, oh, that's really cool. But if I accept this, why did the troll kill the guy that was looking under the boulder?
It's where he keeps his underwear.
Yeah. So if I come up with something cool or interesting or reasonable enough that nobody questions it, yeah, I will change it. Like, get the players more involved, make the players feel clever. But also, if it's really good, then it's also fun for the game master to lean into it.
Okay. Yeah, yes. So, yeah. I think I take the same approach as you. Like, yeah, you can forget. Just keep in mind that the Vaesen, they should be the unknown. I guess if we're gonna bring up the same monster, like same Vaesen, change the rules, because it's a guy. It's not only a giant. It's a guy.
Yes.
So that one is different.
They are not
maybe
monsters.
If you're the same. Maybe if you're the same character, like you can impart a knowledge, like, oh, I know they really hate churches. Like, I think that's part of folklore, what people talk about anyway.
Yeah.
So I guess that can be a known. But yeah.
If it's a known that the characters have figured out, they can, let's use this tool. It has worked before. And the game master can decide, like, if it's gonna work or not, because depending on how you play it out, you want to like drop hints and players act and you react, and reacting gives them more information. But you don't want them to go up like ring the bell. The priest comes with a bell and he rings it. It doesn't work, and he got stomped. The tree trunk hits him, and the priest flies through the air into the lake.
Turns out he was unworthy. He sinned and
Yes.
did not confess. So
that would
you
be
can always explain. You can always explain why the thing that works is not working now.
That's also how I read the secret. The priest is ringing the bell, but if I know as a game master, like, oh, he's not a real believer, he's a charlatan, or like he questions his own belief, so it's not working. That's all I need. Like, he questions himself, so I will not make it work.
Yeah, I guess things that should work the same way, but they don't. Just take technology, for example. They have you do the exact same thing.
I use my iPhone and set the alert, beep beep beep, but
for some reason it doesn't ring. Yeah, it doesn't. Like, that happened with me before. Like, the alarm just doesn't work. You have to set up again. The technology is kind of chaotic as well.
Error message.
Sometimes it does that.
Faith low. Recharge.
So yeah, I think we should try playing it. Maybe I'll try running, like, after we're done with Mouse Reader. I'll try running this game for you and Somer.
Yeah.
But maybe we can do that, because I'm not good with Nordic folklore. I know like some of it because I'm a nerd who plays RPG, so I know a little bit of it. But
me
we
neither.
could go like, over here. Over like South America if you want something new.
Yes. So for the viewer, if you pick up the book, it's so full of flavor. It has all of these little texts.
Oh yeah.
Like paragraphs of what you can do.
Incantations and like nursery rhymes.
Exactly. So you really, really get into the mood. So yeah, like you can play in the Baltics, at the Baltic Sea, and get a good grip of what is the mood to convey, even if you don't know like what Scandinavians are like, or you don't have a very good Nordic accent. Like that is when I try to like lean into the accent. That's how I do it. Like, it's fine, you don't have to. We can go to Brazil instead and figure out the Vaesen, how you like it. But I have no reference of what culture would it be. We can completely change the century as well. I believe this setting makes it very easy to change the century, unless you want to like lean into the headquarters and the 19th century like business, like European families, and everything is sad and stuff like that.
One quick sec.
Okay. But yeah, I do believe the setting itself is flexible enough that you pick the place in the world that you want to play based on it.
Yeah. We'll see that. We'll have a session 0, and we can even like create a fake country somewhere, like loosely based on whatever, just so everybody feels comfortable in co-creating the cultural aspect of being a person living there.
Yeah, I mean, look, I leaned into World of Warcraft and feel like I just do this in World of Warcraft. Take whatever game you want, do it in Witcher. You play
Velen.
Would
work well. Yeah.
You are not a Witcher. Nobody is playing the Witcher.
Yeah, like you're just the Joes in the village trying to survive because the Witcher is not here. So
you are the local constable or something. The guardsman.
Oh, that could be a cool game, man. Like local constable. Like the whole party. HQ is the I'm
the what's the word? The herb woman that picks up the plants and who has her own garden, lives in the woods, distant away from the village. Somebody plays, I don't know, the tavern keeper who talks to
Mm-hmm.
all of the guys, and he
He knows
tries to solve
everybody.
problems. Yeah, if the problems are not solved, then people make problems in his tavern about it. To get drunk and into brawls and break all of his stuff.
Also, turns out that all the sailors dying to mermaids is not good for business. So
Not
you
good
gotta
for
go there.
business. The Vaesen in Etera, in a beautiful city, Venetia.
Yeah.
Was it Venezia? Was it that?
Venetia. Also Venetia, I think.
Yeah. That would be
Yeah.
great. The guy pulled his
Yeah.
pants down, and I'm like, "Oh my god, what are these runic inscriptions on your shaft?"
We always go back to like private parts and maiming in our game.
Yeah.
There's always something about that. I don't know why. It just, it's a constant.
The Witcher was ready to help, but we did not have the 200 denarii to pay him.
You gotta do it yourself. You cannot wait for the hero every time.
He was all scored up, had 3 blades, he dual wields.
He showed up, he sold a bunch of stuff and went all along,
Yeah, he stole all the plants.
Yeah.
He had, he stole all the plants, was brewing up something like, let me buff up for the next 3 months, like, I don't know.
Killed all the cows, sit down for like 24 hours, then kill the cows all again, like
he's just farming. Sitting there. What is he doing? I think the monks call it meditating, but he's like twitching his head, like he needs the next shot or something. Don't question him. He's gonna take your intestines and use them to make sausages.
It's best to avoid it.
Yeah. Oh, that would be a beautiful setting to play a Vaesen, to have the Vaesens in.
Like, you're the village after the party went away, like, or didn't like stay to help, like.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe a local thief managed to steal like a +1 dagger, maybe that's the only thing you have.
Yeah, if you do it in the D&D setting, it's just Faerun, but everything is more mystical, more magical,
because you're not the big guys.
Yeah. But the game does not support magic, or I don't see anything like the magic part is what Vaesen can do. So you don't have a magician.
What you do, like you heard of the ritual, like if you throw salt behind your back, you ward off bad luck. Like that's the most you can do. That's not even like a skill roll. That's just something you do, and GM decides if that will work. And it's like we said, sometimes a computer program works perfectly and the other doesn't until you restart for some reason.
It's like the Gandalf the Grey, the wizard in the Lord of the Rings. He touches his wand and he like whispers into the branches, and it's a ritual that he knows will attract like a certain Vaesen or a spirit that will illuminate the staff to see around him. I see something like that to work, but it's basically you are a scholar that knows of the unknown more than
your
other
archetype
people.
should be toward you have the scholar archetype, the occultist, so
yes, and
I guess you need to play into that. Or
people call it wizardry. They name you a wizard, but all you do is I know pyrotechnics, I know how gunpowder works,
exactly. Like, my mother used to do that when I was a child, and so that's why I do it. But very cool game. I'm excited to play that whenever possible, and let's try. We
stopped before I was able to kill you. We should have get to that part.
I mean, that's why
let me roll 19 dice to like deal like 4 damage on you, and you basically are broken instantly, take 2 critical injuries.
Because again, this game is not meant to be played alone, and I could have had a dog, but you know what? I don't want to give you extra guys to control.
Yeah, we talked about a partner.
Yeah.
A meat shield.
Because then you're gonna be playing against yourself. Oh, the dog attacks the thing. Now,
Yeah, that's the problem, right? You have an NPC, so it's your turn. Then it's my turn playing your NPC. Then it's my turn playing the monster. And
yeah.
it's my turn playing the cultist still running away or doing something. And then it's your turn
Like,
again. It's like that's not fun.
I
You,
personally don't mind
for you.
much if it's only one guy I'm playing for you, but if it's like many, I feel like I'll be hogging the time.
How did you feel about fighting the three cultists with the time? I guess that's more for us. The people did not see that, but
Uh-huh.
the having three cultists and one player. Did you feel like you got your turn
I felt
reasonably
like it was
fast?
okay because I established they were running away, so like I had the upper hand, and
Yes.
just one turned back and fought back, and so it was okay. Like if they were all like hunting me as well, it was like that would be a challenge. But then I will try to be smart, like try to set up a trap, try to climb up a tree. I don't know.
Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. And those were also crucial moments of setting the trap failed, but it's an
Mm.
important moment. You have one chance to get yourself in position. So let's keep the tension. Like a guitar string. If it's too loose, it doesn't make anything. If you tighten
Mm.
it too much, it breaks the string. But if with enough tension, you create music.
Yeah, exactly. So it was good. It was good. We'll just have to see like how it plays out with at least two players because I think that's when the game shines. We can be like the Winchesters, the Winchester brothers.
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel like with three players, like you
Which
can more
yeah.
reasonably go
The
to
the
plan
character
B.
sheet, it has space for four relationships, so I feel like the game
Yeah.
excels at that. When you have
The
four player
classic
maximum, yeah, five
four-player
people,
characters,
one
or
gem.
yeah, five. Yes. All right. Is that? I think that's pretty much everything. Um, we
Yeah.
talked about the Vaesen, the cards, 4Ding with the game, playing in like an Inca
We could
setting.
have missed something because we did not read the full thing. So, but I think we covered like the rough, the big strokes. I don't know if that's how you say it. The rough strokes of
Yeah.
thing.
The intentions, the
Mm.
goal of the system.
And again, the art is so delicious, man. Like, ah, it's worth it's worth for the art. I'm gonna be honest. So good.
The game
Uh,
sets the table. You don't buy, you buy the rules, but you also buy the system of
the
how do
vibe.
I make, yes, how do I make a monster of the week that is more than, it's not just a monster. It
Not
has
just
its
a
soul.
D&D bugbear. Yeah.
Yes, it has a secret, it has a ritual, it has magic, and making each and every one of them unique and giving you the tools to make them unique at your table. I like that a lot. So it empowers a game master to take the system and create his own setting, create his own monster, so
So,
that people do not rock up and be like, "Oh, it's a troll. Oh, let me like set him on fire. Oh, let's use
yeah.
fireballs, mage."
Turns
I
out
know
that
these
this
guys.
troll, if you set it on fire, it multiplies. It's like gremlins in water. So
Yes, he actually explodes into two trolls because it's like an instant chemical reaction, magical
uh,
reaction that happens.
so yeah. So Tomar, like you do with every game you review, how many Z points do you give this one?
C points. That's
You do
okay.
you do this with every game, man. You reveal how many Z points does Vaesen get?
Yeah, I feel like you just foredeed that fact into reality.
yeah,
I
I'm
give
messing with
this
you.
game 66 C points. There you go.
There you go. One for yeah. I'm really excited to play. I guess we kind of you know took what we were thinking out of our systems here.
Yeah.
We'll see how the game plays out in a full thrown 4D game. and maybe have an aftermath after that.
Sounds great. Let's try it out. Do you want to like make a post on the 4D Discord, like allow people in, or keep it like to 3 players?
No, I could open. I mean, it probably only be the same people, but I'll open a post there, and it's just like a matter of time because I think Sommer would like to play that, so maybe we have to wait to finish this other session of Mauser.
Yeah, we have a good timetable going on with Solmir, so that's gonna be easy to organize for sure.
Yeah, I will open up if someone else wants to get in, like besides you two, then of course they'll be welcome. If nobody can because of time,
let's make a post so we can refer people to it if they want to join, if they want to 4D, and like if we don't know you, just say hi. Let's set up a test, like a training session, or do a training session with Rick. He is very much open and looking forward to help people get into 4D roleplay.
4D is system agnostic, though system can make it harder, but it's a principle, not a system.
Not a rule.
Yeah.
And it's not that hard. I very much had to like jump over my own shadow first. And then it was pretty easy to get into 4Ding. Like at first it felt like, let's find out where the boundary is, and then you realize, oh, the boundary is in your mind. It's what and it's what is
like
set
Matrix.
Up with the player.
It's like Matrix, you know.
Exactly.
Starting to believe.
You have to believe. Super cool.
There is no spoon, you know, like.
Exactly. There is no limits. There are no hit points.
Your only the limit is your imagination. Like Shunner loved that one line.
Let's throw that in as the last cookie. You pulled out an effigy, and I was very confused. Want to talk about this?
Okay, yeah. And I was looking here about mementos, and so like I failed, and like this strange mist came out of nowhere. My guy being like a hunter of Van Helsing hunter, I forged me pulling like a charm of like this little wood, this bone like trinket.
Yeah.
And I said like, I think I said like, I pull out the trinket and I look at it and I whisper to myself, please don't move, please don't move. Expecting something strange to happen with the bone. Kind of like telling you like, oh, if it does something strange, I expect it to be like magic.
Yes.
But because we were training, like I explained that to you, you know, we did break
exactly.
4D there. And then you said like pointed to a direction, like as if it was being pulled and like split apart. Like, okay, it's magic. Because in my mind, like I said, like a hunter would have like a bud of garlic, like these simple things. I think like a little bit of salt, you know. I feel like that's basic equipment. I would not have the handmaiden's tears on a vial. That is too specific. But like salt is very easy to access. I would have like a little thing like that. But then I was looking into mementos as we were talking. Mementos, they work to remove a mental condition. That's how they work mechanically.
Oh, really? That's cool.
So what I used was not really a memento. It was like a tool, like an equipment thing that I foredid, which I don't know if I think maybe now looking back, I don't know if it's like against the spirit of the game. I don't feel like it is.
I think it's fine.
Because it was just like, it's very vague, like the presence of something magical. It isn't like, oh, if the Vaesen is aggressive or not. I feel like it was not like that. So I did that, and we just went on with it.
Yeah, the presence. So I did not know about that, but it's very good to know. For that's how I approached it, like the cultists, and with the gunshots, the ravens disappeared. And the spirit woke up from his slumber as the fog rises.
Which, by the way, that's not from any folklore that I know. I just imagined that like was some. I feel like I would see something like this in a movie, so I just did that, you know.
how dare you 4D something and use the limits of your imagination to
I see.
create something beyond the core rulebook? The sacred,
The
it's
sacred texts.
the sacred texts. Ah, you didn't read those anyways. Let me lightning bolt my own stone hut
Yeah.
and light all of the tomes on fire.
Yeah.
You
But yeah, so
spent
the
20 years on
mementos.
this island not reading any of it anyways.
Yeah. But that's, yeah, you should have a memento. Every character has one, and it should help you remove a mental condition. So, like
I like
in
it.
my character's case, we decided I had like a codex that was passed by generations. I would use it to remove the fear effect. I would read on something like, oh, okay, it would make me less anxious, so I would remove a fear effect based of a that is caused by a Vaesen. Maybe there's some inspiration written by my grandpa there, like, when in
Yeah,
fear, do not tremble for whatever the Jaegers can battle. I don't know.
I like it very
Oh.
much. Yeah, that makes definitely a point about the game has a stat for manipulation, and for humans it has empathy, and which means you have the mental value on your character sheet, so it can be attacked. I roll dice to insult you, to curse you, to frighten you, right, and reduce your mental. I forget what's it called again, but your mental hit
Condition.
points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a condition, yeah. Make
Oh
to
right,
break it, to
yeah.
make
You
me
have the
broken, yeah.
conditions. Yeah,
Yeah.
and NPCs have like hit points instead of conditions.
Mm-hmm. It's a cool system. I like it a lot.
Yeah,
Combat can be
but
super deadly.
in a way, is that like telling the player how he should feel if I attack your
Uh,
minds
I
directly?
I feel like it should be very logical. Like, if you insult me, the losing, like, we would be getting angry. I feel like, and like
It allows the game master to do the same. Like as a player, I often would have stuff like I try my best to convince the guards to look the other way, like let this one go, to like not persecute me for this tiny detail of a trespassing. It's like nothing too bad happened. Instead of role playing out what I would say, because I can't think of anything, because I'm not a silver-tongued, dashing young man who can get away with bullshit, to like have that as a
Mhm.
shorthand. But for NPCs, like I will try to make you feel guilty and stuff like that by pointing out the things you're doing. What would be like as the priest, I
Mhm.
role play a couple of sentences and then I say he rolls to what would be the phrasing to get you back to the flock and repent
Mm.
your sins and see
Yeah.
if it gets under your skin or not. Because if I can roll, it means that it doesn't. The player cannot just decide; he has to resist, like with his willpower,
Mhm.
with
I
his
feel like
mind.
that's a problem with RPGs in general when it comes to like the mental part of thing. Like,
Yeah,
when the insult is strong enough to make you have to roll to resist. I feel like that's an RPG question. That's not a Vaesen dilemma. That's an RPG dilemma.
yeah. But Wesson uses the same rules that has been established in the
Yeah.
industry, so to say.
I feel
That's
like
what people.
if the DM thinks that it is an deliberate attempt enough to the point where you should roll, he'll just tell you. Like, it's not just like talking for talking,
Yeah,
like your
like
guy was like, oh, I love the smell of fear in the morning. Like, I feel like that's just banter. Like, that's not a threat. So
yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
character was not rolling for that.
It's like a priest trying to subjugate the player character because she is acting strange, and he believes that she is a witch, or or he will believe
Mhm.
anybody's a witch at the first sign of trouble, or like the guardsman trying to get you to drop your weapon and stay right there, criminal scum. Uh, because if you are a character in the world, getting in trouble by the law would be something that shakes you to your bones.
Oh yeah.
But the player can decide how much that is the case for him. But the setting is it's us versus them, and you never want to be them. You want to be part of the group. Because there's no life, if you
Yeah.
get ostracized.
I'm gonna become a hermit. Become
Yeah.
an NPC that the guy's gonna find next game. But yeah, so answering that, I don't know. I feel like for now, like the game master should telegraph, like roll,
Yeah.
not willpower, perception, I guess, logic.
Yeah, we role play until it's like, as a game master, I'm intending to attack, like,
Mentally attack me, psychically
yes,
attack me.
I'm trying to mentally break you. I open the door and I unbuckle my belt and I stretch it, and that's a mental attack. It's like traumatizing
Oh
you.
yeah.
Like, oh no, not the belt. Are you frightened or not? Will it pull you all the way back to your childhood, or are you not today? I'm all grown up now.
I mean, that's your dark secret. Maybe you
Yeah.
have to play. You gotta role play, man. Like you will know if your character should be rolling or not. Like if that's something that it is on the stakes.
Exactly. All right. Yeah, that was the last idea I had. I think worth throwing in because it is a
We are
concern.
ending here. Talks for more 20 minutes.
Yeah. But we got a good 2 hours, so it's a good moment to end.
Exactly.
Now,
Thank you.
Yeah, now we can get the sponsorship to get me some money. Some free factor meals or something.
Yeah.
Some Manscaped ads for my stupid beard that I got going.
That'd be funny.
Oh man. All right. Last words.
Thank you very much. Hope to play Mouse Reader next week and then virtually this game.
All right. Goodbye, guys. End stream.